Hi everyone, so today we're gonna set up our paper so that we can do our radial sculptures. So you're gonna have a black piece of paper. First thing I'd like you to do using a pencil is name and flip. What we wanna do is we wanna find the center of our paper so when we put our origami pieces on it, it will be even and symmetrical. So first thing that we wanna do is we want to fold our paper at a diagonal. So diagonal means our line is slanted across. So what you're gonna do is match up your bottom left corner to your top right corner, and you're gonna fold it so it's the shape of a triangle. Line it up the best you can, hold it with your fingers, and then get your crease. Open it back up, and then you want to do the same thing but the diagonal going the other way. So I'm going to take my bottom right corner and match it to my top left corner. This will create the X creases that you will see on your paper once you open it up. If your folds aren't perfect, that's okay. Do your best to get it as close to the corners as possible. Then you'll see the X with your folds. We have an X. Next, what we want to do is we want to have a straight fold going across. So what we have to do is we have to take our bottom left and our bottom right and match it up with the top left and the top right. This is a fold just like a normal birthday card. So match up those corners and push it up against the table, get that crease, open it back up, turn it, and do the exact same thing. So that same birthday card fold. What these fold lines are your guidelines for when we put our origami pieces on our paper. Now, the origami fold that you choose is completely up to you. You can also mix and match them as well. I'm gonna do my folds and let this part fast forward, and once it's done, I'll show you how we're gonna arrange them on our paper. When you do your folds, you want to make sure you have at least 4 of the same color so that when we do our gluing, your piece will be symmetrical. So I've done working on my orange right now. I have 2 already, and I'm going to do 2 more just to make sure I have enough for when I add them to my paper. Kite fold is when you take your paper, turn it so that it's facing up. You're going to do a diagonal fold. Match up those corners, get your crease, open it back up. You'll see this center line here. What you want to do is match up this line with your center line and get your crease, and then do the same thing on the other side. It ends up looking like a kite. One of the easier folds is your hat fold. So you want your square edge facing up. What you're going to do is fold it in half like a birthday card. Get your crease, take this corner and fold it into the center. Get your crease and do the same on the other side. Take this corner and move it to the center. And this one looks like a hat. The last fold is a samurai fold, which is probably the hardest one. What you're gonna do is do your diagonal folds both ways. So corner to corner at a diagonal. Get your crease. Open it back up, other corner to corner, get your crease, open it back up. This is like when we fold it on our black paper, it creates an X. Next, what you want to do is do your birthday card fold. Fold it across like this. Then what you're going to do is take this corner and push it in like this. So it almost looks like a triangle. Then take this corner and push it in too. And it ends up creating a triangle shape. So I'll show that one more time. Push this corner in, this corner in. From the top, it looks like a pyramid, and from the bottom, it looks like this. Then what you're gonna do is take one of the sides, one top flap, fold it in so that this line matches the middle. Same on the other side, fold it so this line matches the middle. And create like that, looks like this. If you also come up and invent your own fold, you can also use your own folds. We can also use white for this project because our background is black, so you can use these for your different types of folds. All right, you can see I have a huge pile of all my folds. So now what we need to do is we need to arrange what we want on our piece before we start gluing, because once it's glued, we can't pull them up and change them. So really take this time to figure out how you want your piece to look. Now, your hat fold will take up 2 sections of your grid. So if you'll see here, I put the hat fold, it takes up this one and this one. Our samurai fold also takes up 2, so keep that in mind, but our kite fold only takes up 1 section. So keep that in mind when we're talking about symmetry. Samurai and hat take up 2, kite fold only takes up 1. So you may need to make more or less of your kite fold. So I'm gonna let this part fast forward, and I'm just gonna arrange until it's into a design that I really like. So when I'm arranging, you want to think about symmetry. So if I'm putting pink here, I also have to put pink here, because what's on top needs to match what's on bottom. What's on right needs to match what's on left. You can see how I put green across from green. If I were to move this green here, you can see how it's not balanced anymore. The symmetry is off. So make sure what you put on one side, you put on the other side. You can also see how I'm layering and stacking. We really don't want any of these to come off the edge of the paper, so I'm just gonna layer and stack and figure out what is the best situation. You also can do different types of symmetry. So if I have pink here and pink here, that is symmetrical, but I also could put pink over here and match it on the other side and put pink over here. Beautiful. So this is the arrangement that I think I'm liking. I'm just going to double check my symmetry. So red, red, orange, orange, yellow, yellow. And then I have it symmetrical here. I've got my greens, my blues, my purples, greens, blues, purples. Now I did rainbow, but you do not have to do rainbow. However you make yours symmetrical, you can also do that. Once you have your arrangement that you like, you now need to glue. Now because we are gluing a 3D object, the origami, to the black flat piece of paper, we want to make sure we're putting enough glue where it needs to go. So I'm just going to kind of spread mine out and make sure I can see my guidelines. And you can see here, only the triangle piece of this fold will be touching the paper. So when I do my glue, I'm only going to put it on the part that is touching the paper. So when you're layering and stacking these, make sure you put the glue where it needs to go. I'll let this part fast forward so you can see the gluing part. This part does take a little bit because you want to make sure you're putting the glue where it needs to go and keeping your symmetry. So my piece is done. Before you close up your glue, double check to make sure none of your pieces are gonna fall off. I'm just grabbing it. You can even shake it a little bit to see if anything falls off. Since this does need to dry, let's put these right into the drying rack and make sure you save any of your origami pieces that aren't glued on.